Hey guys, Jason DLT Trading coming to you today with a bi-weekly DLT Inside Scoop. This is for the week of May 9th, 2025, and it is my inaugural run at this Inside Scoop. So first up, we have a couple of Work Tuff Gear knives. For those of you not familiar with Work Tuff Gear, they are a Taiwanese manufacturer, but don't think large conglomerate, think very small boutique company run by somebody who's extremely passionate about knives. Their owner, Vic Lin, is a huge knife guy. I've met him a couple of times at Blade Show in Atlanta. The guy eats, breathes, sleeps knives. Their knives are nicely priced, yet incredibly well done. Fit and finish on them is as nice as knives costing twice as much, I firmly believe. In addition to real nice fit and finish on the knives, they have very high quality Kydex, which fits perfectly, doesn't scratch, has great positive retention. They've kind of built their name and hung their hat on larger fixed blades, so having a good means in which to carry the knife is important, and they excel at it. In addition to the Kydex, they generally have a carry rig or strap or something to aid in carrying, depending on the size of the knife. This week, the two models that we'll be talking about will be the Atayal, which is this one right here, and the Lanzetta. The Atayal goes for $209.99, so $210. Blade length 14.3 inches, or I'm sorry, overall length 14.3 inches, blade length 8.8. Steel is K329. Those of you not familiar with K329, it is a tough yet highly stain resistant steel. If you think of something like a 3V, it's going to be just a fuzz less tough than 3V, but quite a bit more stain resistant. So great choice on a fixed blade, really tough, good edge retention, and this one does have good corrosion resistance too. So this knife I think would excel in the outdoors, as well as one of the things I think it'd be really cool for is a brisket knife or as a camp knife. It is decently thick on the spine, so not a thin like kitchen knife or whatever, but breaking down ribs or cutting up brisket or something like that. Very, very cool knife. I love the shape on it and the overall lines. Just a great, great looking knife. Really comfortable handle like all the Work Tuff Gear knives have. Well balanced, nice Kydex. Next up would be the Lanzetta, which does have a compound grind on it. It has this cool blade finish, which not only looks nice, but also does provide some resistance to staining, or at least masks any patina or whatever that you may develop. Again, nice, comfortable handle with a bird's beak if you're doing chopping or whatever, which is what this knife is predominantly going to be used for. Could also be used for self-defense and some other uses. Again, real nice Kydex on this one, like all the Work Tuff Gear knives. Pops in and retains very nicely. Steel on that one is going to be SK85, which is a Japanese high carbon steel. Really tough, good edge retention, a little bit better edge retention and toughness than say like a 1095. Still easy to sharpen like 1095 would be, but a little more corrosion resistant, a little tougher, a little better edge retention than a 1095. So great steel, a couple of great knives from Work Tuff Gear. They continue to bring the heat in the fixed blade market, especially at that price point of say $175 to $275. Okay, next up we have a couple of bark rivers. Bottom one is going to be the Little Caper, and then the Bark River Fox River Trailing Point. Little Caper is a nice 3-finger knife. Would make an excellent caping knife if you're an outdoorsman, obviously. Makes a really nice, cool-looking EDC also. It's just for a little fixed blade, which if you don't carry a fixed blade for EDC or never have, it's a fun option. It does have a sheath that you could easily stick in a front pocket. You can also belt carry it, obviously, but you can front pocket carry that pretty easily. Just a real nice looking little fixed blade. Magna cut steel, so it's going to have great steel. Again, used for EDC, outdoor purposes, myriad of tasks. Price point on this one, this particular one I believe is $187. Actually, that would be the black canvas version. So starting price point $187, which for MagnaCut is, quite honestly, MagnaCut, American made blade, nice leather sheath, a nice price point. Great looking little EDC. Second one that we'll talk about would be the Fox River, Barker River, Fox River trailing point. As the name implies, it is a trailing point, that kind of upswept look. So what is this knife used for? It's going to be a great outdoor knife. It's going to excel at things like skinning or anywhere that you need a long cutting edge. That trailing point is going to give you a longer cutting edge than, say, like a drop point would be. You know, if this knife was a drop point, you'd lose a good 1/2 to 5/8 of an inch of actual cutting edge. Convex ground, nice and thin. So this one is very, very slicey, especially as Bark Rivers go. This one has great, great cutting geometry. Good ample sized handle that allows for a good comfortable grip, allows you good dexterity and control of the blade. Probably a little bit big to EDC, but for camp chores, hiking, camping, hunting, you name it, real nice outdoor knife, 100% American made. Steel on this one is going to be 154 cm, so good steel, good stainless steel, and a great choice. Okay, so next up we have the TRC DLT exclusive. We have an exclusive on this colorway, which would be the black DLC and purple G10. This particular one is the Polheim. This one runs $395, 4-inch blade of MagnaCut. So great steel on this one, 4-inch MagnaCut blade. Overall, 8.375 inches. And again, for those of you not familiar with TRC, they are perfection in fixed blades. Nice rounded spine. Kydex that fits perfectly. Just use that thumb ramp, push it out, and it locks in tight, not going anywhere. Will not scratch the blade. Absolutely flawless knife, flawless Kydex. Really, really nicely made. Made over in Lithuania by TRC Knives, a brand that we've sold now for probably about 3 years, and we've really come to like this brand. Definitely want to check them out. We do have this colorway across several of their models. Next, we have W.A. Surls, or for those of you that know him, Alan Surls. Alan is one of the disciples from Fiddleback Forge, as is the other brand that we'll be talking about, which would be JB Knifeworks. Joey over at JB Knifeworks also trained and learned under the Fiddleback tree. We'll start with Joey's work here. Just kind of a nice drop point pattern. Perfectly done, nicely rounded spine, absolutely flawless grinds, flawless handle, absolute perfection on this knife, and as comfortable as any fixed blade you'll see. Perfect handle on it. These, I believe, are going to be in the $400 price point, kind of a smaller version of that. Good sized handle where you can get a great grip on it, yet a small blade. Something like this to me is just about a perfect hunting knife. You have a nice large handle that you can get good control of the knife, yet small enough that you're not using a big clunky blade inside where you can't see and things of that nature. So knives like this I've always liked because you can get good leverage and real good control over the knife. And again, just a beautiful, beautiful knife. Yellow liners. With this one, actually has thick natural with the desert ironwood burl. Just an absolute stunning knife. And then the two for my good buddy Alan Surls. So Alan has kind of gotten into a lot of more rustic looking, as well as using a lot of antler and bone, and some of them do have integral bolsters, like this being a forged one. Beautiful Damascus. He does his own Damascus, which absolutely beautiful. Engraved bolster on this one. Really nice stag. Alan and Joey both are partners in Pop's Knife Supply. So obviously they have their pick of some really nice handle material, and it shows on their knives. Just absolutely beautiful, beautiful knives. Allen's knives I own several of just because they really speak to me. They have a frontier feel and look to them. Unique compared to a lot of what's out there, which I think is kind of neat too, that there's a differentiating factor. And if you're showing your buddies, these are really something to talk about. I know when my brother comes over to my house, he's always keenly interested in this brand just because they're very unique knives. Next up for your viewing pleasure, we have 4 beauties from Edge Knifeworks. Joshua Fisher is the maker over at Edge Knifeworks. I've known Josh for a couple of years. He uses a lot of unique micartas. He really has a lot of fun finding old micartas or ones that are rare, so that's kind of a forte of his. But the real beauty of Josh's knives are the fact that he makes basically a perfect fixed blade knife. His grinds and his fit and finish are absolutely flawless. All of these 4 that I'll be highlighting today are MagnaCut. This one is the Ronin. And the specs on the Ronin, overall length 7.5 inches, blade length 3.5, again MagnaCut steel. It does have a smaller little brother, which is the Mini Ronin. Mini Ronin is going to be 6 inches overall, blade length 2.75 inches, MagnaCut steel. This one is going to be a 3-finger carry knife. So if you're looking for a compact EDC that has some real heart and soul, handmade by a single maker, this is one to check out. Nice and easy to carry. Beautiful micarta on this. Check that micarta out. And then just for comparison, we have the full-size Ronin and the mini Ronin, where you can kind of see sometimes the specs are a little deceiving when you talk about lengths, but seeing them side by side makes it clear that this one's quite a bit smaller. This would be a large EDC. You know, it's about, you wouldn't want anything bigger than this to daily carry. It is fairly compact that it wouldn't be terrible. This mini, though, would carry really, really nicely as an EDC. Next one we have is his Tanto, which would be a Japanese style Tanto. Very cool looking knife. This one price wise, I believe these are going to be $220 to $250. 8.75 inches overall, 3.75 inch blade. Nice and comfortable, as well as a really beautiful, correct looking Japanese Tanto. And then the final one, which may be my favorite, is going to be the Huntsman. The Huntsman, as the name might imply, would make an amazing bird and trout. It is razor sharp, really nice and thin behind the edge, and very nice detailed or fine point for detail work. MagnaCut steel. Overall length on this one is going to be 7.3 inches with a 3 3/4 inch blade. Nice long cutting edge, comfortable handle that you can get up on. It's kind of a 3-finger, I guess. Get your 4th behind there if you had small hands. Maybe get the 4th one on there. Really, really nice knife. All of his knives that we've highlighted today are going to come with nice JRE sheaths, which if you're familiar with those, have really nice retention, nice leather. Have this nice pocket clip on them too, so you can easily front pocket carry it if you like. Very, very nice EDC knives. This week we had some nice restocks as well. First up is going to be large 31 Sebenza. This one has the gold thumb stud. We've started offering the Chris Reeve stuff in double thumb lugs, silver, the standard blue, gold. So got a little variation out there. This one is going to be that amazingly beautiful box elder burl that they use. Might be my favorite inlay that they have, frankly. This one also has the polished blade and polished handle. So this one is a real showstopper. Very, very beautiful knife. Incredible fluid action, like all Chris Reeve knives are known for. Also have small 31 unique. All of these knives are in MagnaCut as Chris Reeve is making them now. If you're not familiar with their unique designs, they always have really cool designs. Seeing how that's done, they basically have one person out there. As far as I know, at least it was, they're doing these on a manual mill, these really cool designs. Very, very unique in the knife industry, that what they offer at a very reasonable price point too. That small Sabenza unique runs $675. The large Sabenza, which is polished and had the burl inlay, that one you're looking at $750. We also got in some knives from TM Hunt this week. I know some of the M18s were in there. It's kind of his hallmark knife. We also did have the Yuma, which, if you look at his knives, they have a nice dark wash finish to them. 01 tool steel, and his maple that he uses is some of the best looking maple in the industry. I'm not sure where he gets it. I'm guessing he's going somewhere and hand picking this from some wood supplier that's near him, because all of it is really nice. Great outdoor knife, nice size handle on it. You do have 2 points of jimping if you want to choke up and really get some leverage on it. You're able to do that. Todd is again a one-man show, which I like buying knives from guys like that, because every one of these knives, much like the Edge Knife Works, Josh Fisher, they are 100% made by that maker. So it isn't, hey, it's this guy and 5 other guys that work with them, and you don't know which one you're getting. You know when you buy a TM Hunt knife that Todd made it. Most of his knives are built for the outdoors. Also does have some nice EDCs as well as some other accessories. Great brand to check out. New this week, the Bel Air carbon fiber, beautiful marbled carbon fiber DLC blade. That kind of standard sheep's foot that they use on the Bel Air. It is a crossbar lock, so the action on it is amazing. Since the patent went off the Benchmade Axis lock, seems like everybody has come out with their version of this. The Kershaw one is right near the top for being the best action on it, though. It does not stick at all. And this carbon fiber, this is probably the best looking Bel Air I've seen. Frankly, this is the first time I'm seeing this model, and the carbon fiber on it is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful knife. Price point on that Kershaw Bel Air, $224.99 MagnaCut blade steel. This one is going to be a Spanto non-flipper, so something that you don't see very often, but we've done several of these as exclusives, the non-flipper. The Spanto blade kind of being what I think of when I think of a Hinderer. I think the two iconic blade shapes for me are the Slicer and the Spanto, this one being the Spanto. So this one is going to be the 3.5-inch XM18 non-flipper Spanto 20 CV blade steel on this one. These are dropping 5/14, so May 14th at 10 a.m. Central. DLT exclusive on this one. Good size drop, but obviously, like with any of the Hinderers, the best assortment or the best models are going to sell fast. So make sure that you have a timer set for May 14th. Those are on our drop page. Check those out. And then we have a couple of really nice looking Tactile Knife Company Rangers. Tactile, if you're not familiar with them, they do more than just pens. They've started a knife division and really put a lot of resources in there, and they're making really high quality, really well done knives. The knives just continue to get better and better beyond the shadow of a doubt. And what they're putting out right now is really quite impressive. So this one's going to be the Ranger. The Ranger has MagnaCut blade steel, 2 different variants. One has the fat carbon or camel carbon inlay. The other has a nice red G10. And this one is a dark wash. Great action on these. Real good half stop. Nice strong pull. Really nice looking blade. Ozer design on this. So Jared Ozer is the person that designed and worked with Tactile getting these made. But as you can see, just an amazing looking slip joint with fantastic action. The pull on these is, quite frankly, just about perfect, I think. Which you can probably hear on camera, that half stop, nice click. And then when you're closing it as well. Also from Tactile, but from their sister company, if you will, the Tactile Turn pen company. This is kind of a cool design. It is their 16-bit, and this comes in standard, short, and mini, so there's 3 variants of it, all in this colorway, which harken back to gaming consoles. So neat colorway. Like all of their seasonal releases, you get a bunch of cool little items like this, a little magnet, as well as you have a little notebook to write in with your pen. But really neat colorway, neatly themed, I think, with the 16-bit theme. And it is a side click. So the action on a Tactile Turn side click would be just like this. Made in the Metro Dallas area. Visited the factory a couple of years ago, Tara and I did. Impressive factory with as big of a machine center as just about any company other than maybe like a Benchmade or Spyderco, but really, really impressive facility that they have there, and a company that I think is going to continue to grow and be a big player in the knife and pen industry. Next up, we've got the Shirogorov F95 DLT exclusive. This beauty is our exclusive pattern, which is the Miksha pattern, which is Russian for bear. We came up with that because, as you may know, the Shirogorov logo is a bear, which kind of neat. That is right up in the corner. Kind of show off that it's a really unique texture. I really like this, and it adds a lot to the knife. F95 is one of their hallmark models. This particular exclusive is an LMAX steel. Does have the multi-row bearing system. 3.78, I believe, inch blade on it. Again, LMAX, manufactured in Russia. These are dropping next week, so these drop on 5/13/25 at 10 a.m. Central Time. And I believe price on these is $8.25. We did have one other exclusive, but that was the Ursus exclusive. This is the F95. 2 variants. One going to be the tumbled titanium, which you see on the bottom, and then the blue anno, which you see on the top. So 2 different SKUs available 5/13/2025 at 10 a.m. Central. Got a new Scarab 2 here. This one is sharpened on both sides. So double-edged, sharpened top and bottom. Really good looking OD that almost has a bronze hue to it. So good looking colorway. Does have the grip tape inlays. Nice size. With the new, if you're not familiar with the improvements that Microtech has made in their newest generation with the crud cutter and the way that the button now works. We used to have people come in the store in the bigger like combat Trudons or Scarabs or things of that nature. People would have the thumb strength to open it, but they'd have a hard time closing it. And this, I mean, this opens and closes like an old school Ultratech did. It's quite amazing, really, how well these open. They've really elevated the game. Obviously, the Scarab is a beautiful looking knife. Check this one out, really unique blade shape on it. We also have an MSI that has a unique handle, a tiger stripe camo, reminds me almost of like a Vietnam era camo. tumbled black DLC blade, M390K blade steel, and MSIs, as you know, for an American-made, precision-built knife, sell at a really nice price point. They too have a Axis-style crossbar lock that works flawless as well. Microtech has done a really great job on these, and frankly, these MSIs sell at a much better price point than what I would have expected. I was surprised when they came out that they sold at the price point that they do. Great knife, definitely worth checking out. Next one that I'm going to show you is going to be a Reate. This is the PL6. If you look at it, it is a front flipper. Much like my good friend Paul, who is not a fan of front flippers, I too am not a fan of front flippers. But the nice thing is, you can flip this one like a standard flipper, which I do like. What's really unique on the PL6, like a lot of the PL series from Reate, is the PL stands for pivot lock. So that is your lock. So it's very intuitive and kind of a neat place for the lock to be. You just push on the pivot and it unlocks. It also has a secondary lock that will lock the blade open and make a really solid lockup. This one is going to be DLC with Ultim, which I'm not always a fan of Ultim, but it really works with the DLC, I think. I like the look of this knife. And like I say, I'm not crazy about Ultim sometimes, but this works. And then something that's maybe a little more mainstream, a nice black micarta with a really nice satin blade. Reate always does a great job with their belt satin finish. Does have a blue anodized clip to give it a little pop. Price point on these is really nice, 132 bucks. At 132, it's a real fun little unique knife. Good one to show your buddies at 130 bucks. Kind of neat to flip and play around with, but also real nice size, nice to carry, great EDC, great knife. And guys, since this is my first one of these and we're rounding third and heading home, I would be remiss if I didn't mix in a dad joke, because that's kind of what I'm known for here at the shop. These four you will automatically like, and you will see why. And the first one is going to be the Heretic Manticore E Tanto Edge, two-tone battle black, so it has a two-tone battle black with a satin flat with the Blizzard chassis. Their Blizzard chassis is, if you think of kind of a raw aluminum with a brush finish and then the frag pattern, it's really neat. I like it. It's a good look. And then with that two-tone blade, I think it's just a real nice combination. Price-wise, $300, 100% USA made, MagnaCut blade steel. Real nice size, automatic. The Heretics are flawless, so obviously opening and closing, great. And there's one last look at that beauty before we jump to the next one. Again, we have an automatic, and this one is going to be the ProTech Oligarch. This one is at 315 bucks, 3 1/4 inch blade, 7.625 overall MagnaCut blade steel. This one happens to be in a nice OD green. ProTechs are always flawless. American-made automatics. Nice utilitarian blade shape on the Oligarch. Nice overall lines, I think. Aesthetically very pleasing. And again, high quality. It's a ProTech. Dave and the crew over there always excel. And then this one is going to be one of their Magic series, the Magic 2. So this one, 8.59 inches overall when it's opened, 3.78 inch blade of 154 cm. So good size blade. And for those of you not familiar with these, I'm going to try and show this on camera. You're going to slide the scales to open it. For those of you not familiar, you're going to slide the scale. You're actually going to slide that bottom one over, and then it releases. So kind of a unique opening and closing. Trying to show that on camera so that you can see it. And then to close it, just the same action. Good size knife. not a small knife, but yet because it's thin and aluminum, you can easily carry it EDC, no question, as long as you're able to carry an automatic, which thankfully most places you can now carry automatics. Thanks in part to some common sense legislation and the American Knife and Tool Institute and their work that they've done, including Rick Hinderer and his efforts. And then rounding it out will be the Nexus. I really like this knife. I told Kat when we started to shoot this video, I was not super familiar with this one. Does have the little mother of pearl inlay button. Nice textured surface. The blue blade, I'm a straightforward guy. I don't necessarily say things that I don't believe to sell. I don't know that I love the blue blade, I'll be honest with you. A lot of people see it and love it. I don't know. But the chassis on this, I love the shape, I love the feel, I love everything about it. And I'm not anti-blue blade, I'm just kind of ambivalent on it, whether I like it or not. So this one, price-wise, $315, 7.5 inches overall when open, 3-inch blade of MagnaCut. And man, you better hang on to this one when you open it, because that 3-inch MagnaCut blade flies out of there. This is a really nice automatic. But with this texturing, you can really get a good purchase on this thing. I really like this knife. Definitely one to check out. Hey guys, thanks for bearing with me and watching my first DLT Inside Scoop. I appreciate you guys doing it. If you would, please go ahead and follow us. Like, share, and comment below if you'd be so kind. Even if it's to say, hey, Jason really sucked at his job, I'll take the comment. We need the comment, so go ahead and do it. All of these are available on DLT Trading, subject to being sold out. We do appreciate you watching the video, and hope you enjoyed what we had to bring you today.